I'm back from Gamescom. I'm going to be giving you some tips on games and other events like that. So what is Gamescom? E3 was like one of the biggest global events in gaming, and with no more E3, this is like the closest I would say would come to it. It's in Europe, it's in Cologne. It's one of the biggest conventions for devs, like B2B and for consumers. So it's great to kind of like catch up on everything and meet everyone. This is the second one I've done and I've learned a lot from this. Basically, I went unprepared from the first one. So I'm gonna keep my thing brief.
I'll keep my thing brief.
Okay, so basically for that week, you have DevCon at the beginning, and Monday and Tuesday. Then Wednesday, that's when Gamescom begins. So I actually think for devs that it becomes really useful for investors and developers and getting those talks and the business aspect of it from the beginning of the week, and talk to other people within the space, but also get useful workshops. And that actual Gamescom is Wednesday to Sunday. So Wednesday and Friday, they have a trade business area open. Most professionals and meetings are held then. And then Friday to Sunday is a consumer area where there's over 335,000 visitors worldwide. So first, things I do to prepare. So the most important thing for me is able to get all the stuff I need and my equipment. I've made an Amazon list for ease. I'll run through this quite quickly, but here's the type of equipment I bring. I bring like lapel mics. Newer gave me, they come like this, I can clip them onto me. It's so busy, you want to be able to hear yourself, or if you're talking to someone else, be able to pick up that. So that's one of my main tips. Another thing that I think is really useful is having an adapter, an extension lead with like plugs on it, so that you don't have to keep having an adapter for each one. A hand that you can flip from being handheld to like standing up straight. That was really helpful for me for recording, because that means that I could record myself when I didn't have anyone else to help me. So a light, it's so dark in there, and that's not even just for the melanated babes. You need lighting if you're recording yourself in there, or you want to get like good shots of things that are around. So something that's easy to attach, and even better if it attaches onto your stand. I also have a rig that has loads of things that you can attach to it, and the light that could go on there would be really useful. Having an Apple converter means that you can plug it into your phone, your laptop, and then you can put in things like a mini SD card, hook it up to other things and to other devices, and it's basically a game saver. I also have something that I got from SanDisk that I just plug into my PC. I got it, and you can take storage, and then that obviously helps with if you're taking loads of high quality videos and you're running out of storage, then you can put it into something else, and then that saves you. A power bank is essential. There's pretty much nowhere to charge. That was one of the most frustrating things. I just think it's nice to kind of have something like a sticker or something that says I'm live streaming, because when you're walking around and live streaming, not everyone, obviously you can record everywhere, but not everyone's going to know, so that you could be capturing people's conversations. Something creative to show your name and always goes down well, so maybe like a QR code or something that directs to your LinkedIn. One of my favourite tips to suggest is unique ways of sharing your details with people. So for example, I've got like heart suites and like business details, and then I will put them, so you stick them down onto the love hearts, put my business details on there, they say thank you, and then it says like name and my business names as well. As you can tell, I'm very excited by these. And I have some tips for you, and this is to smell fresh, because that's really important. I'm not going to drag you, I'm not going to focus on this too long. Here's a tip that I've got for coding. I need hours and hours to get ready all the time, but I can't afford to do that when I'm away. So what I like to do beforehand with my favourite thing is make Canva. I put down all the things that I'm going to do in that day, and like here I'll put an example of it there, but I have all my outfits planned for the daytime, the evening and things, and then it just helps me feel prepared, because I get quite anxious when like going out. It's really important to network and socialize as well when you're there. But for me specifically, Wednesday to Friday is the best time to be there. If I do Saturday and Sunday, it's purely consumer, so it's really better for me to get back to do what I need to do. So if I'm taking loads of content on Wednesday to Friday, I want to get back on time so that I can try and edit it and put things out there. Unfortunately, that didn't work for me because getting out of Cologne was a mess. That's not to say that there's not any value on the weekend. If you still need to do things on the floor, I said to like things around, because it's so big. I think there's about 10 or 11 big halls. I also think the weekend's good for being able to like get merch, be able to try out different types of games and see everything that you missed out on during the trade area, and yeah, make a calendar for all your meetings, but also when releases are coming out. That's really important. When you get back, you want to know like order that you want to do things, when things are coming out, and to kind of plan that way. If you don't have time to talk to people or you're running around, grab whatever you want to look at the game release, make a note of it, and then you can follow up with people. Prior to going, also make sure that you are meeting, find or connect people that are going, and let people know that you're going to be attending. Even if you haven't booked things yet, just let them know you're going to be there. I didn't make like eat proper meals for the most of the day. It's mainly party food, events, and lots of alcohol, which is a combination. Okay, accessibility is a real issue traveling around. I really feel like they should have a lot more things to be able to support people that are struggling going back and forth between things. Maybe they could have some carts around. And if you don't have a fast track ticket, and obviously there's a lot of large queues, I would recommend like bringing a chair, you know, like those foldable chairs that would help if you've got problems of sitting on the floor, standing up for a long time, meeting. Obviously, that's another thing. I think it's good to showcase what kind of content you do. And again, like bookmarking your posts. If you've been to Gamescom before, bookmark the posts that you've got from Gamescom, so that when you're pitching to go next time, then you can gather everything very easily. If you haven't been to Gamescom but you've gone to somewhere that's similar, then you can do the same thing where you have your things bookmarked or pictures of things at similar events. If you have meetings and companies invite you over, remember to ask them to send this over to you in the email, because this will also help your application for trade, because then like brands and people need to not expect creators to use Meet to Match, because it's like a meeting platform, but it tried to charge me £250 to arrange a meeting. Costing of it is another thing. Yeah, I would say it cost me close to £1,000 for me to go. And for the last 2 days that I was there, a brand covered my hotel. So that really helped me immensely. But the rest of it, like travel and all of that stuff, was covered by myself. So these are things that you have to consider as well. Okay, so whilst you're there, so posting about going on socials, what kind of stuff you're going to be doing and what's in your bag. That's also really fun for companies and like agencies to see what you can do when you're there. One of the things Gamescom, sorry, I'm trying to get through everything quickly so I'm not just yapping, but all the things that you thought and liked and posted about since being there, taking clips, screenshots, put everything in a folder, put everything in a space that you can go back to and you can retrieve early, get it prepared, and then you've got it done for next year and potential pictures for future things. I made a deck. If you want to see that, let me know and I could do similar, but we'll showcase impressions that were made, tweets for myself, or any like content that I did. And this is where I'll post everything. I love makeup and getting dressed up. I'm gonna take a picture of all the looks and be like, hey, do you want to work with me? Charlotte Tilbury, I'm gonna be on stage and do this, etc. So all of these things are ways that you can like work with a brand to help kind of like, you know, amplify them, amplify yourself, but also perhaps do something fun with working with that company in the future. And even if you can, just remember to put your content there. And also, I have a random thing I'm going to add into here. The amount of people that ask me as a creator what agencies I liked. It's very important, word of mouth, because a lot of creators don't feel comfortable speaking out on the internet about things that they don't like. And a lot of the time, the things that you are doing right, people just take for granted. So I really like the fact that people are doing work by asking the creators in confidential like ways, like, how are you finding this brand, or how is this agency treating you? And that's really important. Yeah, so those are the main points that I got from it. I'm sure there's like that I needed to cover. Ask me anything. I'm happy to do any other videos. I made a note of all of this stuff when I was there, that these are the key things. This is going to say I loved Gamescom this year. It's so exhausting. It was so tiring. But I just love games, man. I love games. I got to check out loads of stuff, and we will do that in the separate videos. But thanks for watching. You can find me at GeekyCassie everywhere, and also on LinkedIn. I have an events company, Nox Lumina, so if you want to do anything and talk about workshops, streams, educational stuff, or just fun game release stuff that I do, then thanks. Bye.